if you really understand what the specific degree of the planet is and where it is deriving its energy from, then you really know what the planet is out to do in your respective horoscope. Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. First of all, a very happy festival of lights, Deepavali to all of you, and whichever corner of the world you may be and whenever you may be celebrating Deepavali or Diwali in your respective city or country, please accept my wholehearted best wishes for you. May this be a prosperous Diwali, maybe a safe Diwali for all your friends, family and everybody that you're going to celebrate this festival of lights with. Having said that, I want to share with you something which I have researched and come upon, and I wanted to share this with you on this very auspicious occasion of Diwali. You can hear some of the crackers going out in the background, so please excuse me if you don't like firecrackers, but in this part of the world we do celebrate Diwali with not only lights but with also firecrackers, so please bear with me. So I wanted to share this particular research of mine with you on this very auspicious day, because this is something which will really help you to understand what the actual strength of a certain planet in your horoscope is, what it is behaving like, where it is deriving its energy from, and what it can do for you if you keep in mind some of the important aspects that it brings to you through its personality, what the planet is acquiring personality from, what energy, with what planet. So let's start with the dasha system itself. Now we know what is the order of the dasha. Even before we go to the dashas, let's look at the order of the nakshatras. We know that the first nakshatra lying in the sign of Aries is the nakshatra of Ashwini, ruled by Ketu. The next nakshatra is the nakshatra of Bharani, ruled by Venus. Third nakshatra is the nakshatra of Kritika, ruled by Sun. Fourth nakshatra is the nakshatra of Rohini, ruled by the moon. So if you see the order of the nakshatras, they start from Ketu, then goes on to the nakshatra of Venus, then Sun, then Moon, then Mars, then Rahu, then Jupiter, then Saturn, and then Mercury. And if you realize, you will find that the dasha systems also follow the same order. So if you are born in the dasha of Ketu, Ketu being the nakshatra lord in which nakshatra moon lies at the time of your birth, so obviously the first dasha will be that of Ketu. Then the next dasha that you fall into will be the dasha of Venus, then of Sun, then of Moon, then of Mars, and so on. So the dasha system is following nothing but the order of the nakshatras, and the nakshatra in which you are born, in which your moon is placed at the time of your birth, becomes very, very important. So if the order of the nakshatras gives you the order of the dashas, which gives you the order of your life, the trajectory, the opportunity, the misses, and all that comes to your life, because dashas and antar dashas obviously are the delivery boys and what are bringing about certain opportunities for you, then it's important for us to understand not only is the dasha of the nakshatra or the order of the nakshatras deciding the dashas for you, but it is also deciding in certain ways the energy of each of the planet in your horoscope. So let's see what do we mean by that and how do we arrive at that. Now the first nakshatra is the nakshatra of Ketu, which is the Ashwini nakshatra. Then after that, the next 8 nakshatras are all ruled by different planetary energies, as we said, Venus, then Sun, Moon, and so on. Then the 10th nakshatra will again be ruled by Ketu. The 10th nakshatra is the nakshatra of Magha, ruled by Ketu. And then the next 8 nakshatras will be ruled by other different entities, just like Ketu, then Venus, then Sun, Moon, Mars, and so on. And then after the 8 nakshatras are over, after Ketu's Magha nakshatra, then the 9th nakshatra after that, which means the 10th nakshatra is ruled by Ketu, which is Magha. Then the 9th nakshatra of that, which means the 19th nakshatra, will also be a nakshatra ruled by Ketu, which is the nakshatra of Mula. So what do we see? We see that the first nakshatra is ruled by Ketu, the 10th nakshatra is ruled by Ketu, and the 19th nakshatra is ruled by Ketu. So the first nakshatra denotes the number 1, The 10th nakshatra is nothing but 1 plus 0, which is again 1. The 19th nakshatra is nothing but 1 and 9, which is 10. 10 is nothing but 1 plus 0, which is again 1. So the number 1 signifies the actual energy, the most potent energy of Ketu. Then if you see, the nakshatra is ruled by Venus. The second nakshatra is ruled by Venus, the nakshatra of Bharani. Then after the second nakshatra, if you look at the 9th nakshatra after that, that is the 11th nakshatra, the nakshatra of Purva Falguni, that is also ruled by Venus. And then the 20th nakshatra, the nakshatra of Purva Ashada, is also ruled by Venus, which means the 11th nakshatra, which means 1 plus 1 is 2, the second nakshatra, and the 20th nakshatra, 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. All these three are ruled by Venus. So the number 2 signifies the actual strength of Venus. And if you see, the second sign of the zodiac, the Taurus sign, is also ruled by Venus, and so on. So if you see, following the order of the nakshatras, you will see the number of Ketu is 1, the nakshatra of Venus is 2, the number of Sun is 3, the number of Moon is 4, the number of Mars is 5, the number of Rahu is 6, the number of Jupiter is 7, the number of Saturn is 8, and the number of Mercury is 9, when you are looking at each of the nakshatras and you are combining the number to get the final single number. So if this is the order of the potent strength of each of the nakshatras, Ketu being denoted by the number 1, Venus by 2, Sun by 3, Moon by 4, and so on, then you look at the padas, because we know that each nakshatra is divided into 4 padas, but each sign that we have in each in which the nakshatras lie, each sign will have roughly 9 padas. That's why the 9 padas will denote what is the sign of the Navamsa, because when the sign with the Aries or Taurus, they are divided into 9 parts, you will see that these 9 parts are nothing but the 9 padas. One nakshatra, number 1 nakshatra 4 padas, number 2 nakshatra 4 padas, and the third nakshatra 1 pada. Say for example, when you are looking at the 4 padas of Ashwini, then the 4 padas of Bharani, and 1 pada of Kritika lying in the sign of Aries. So we know there are 9 padas in each sign. So these constitute nothing but the 9 padas constitute the energy of each of the specific planets, following the same order: Ketu, then Venus, then Sun, and Mars. Though the padas may not follow, the padas may not be ruled by the specific entity or the planet, but each of the 9 padas denote that the number of the padas within a certain sign will relate to each of the planets, which means that if Ketu is starting with in the first nakshatra of Ashwini, Ketu rules Ashwini and Ketu's number is 1, the first pada. What is the first pada? The first pada lies between 0 degrees and 3.2 degrees, which means any planet which falls under these degrees 0 to 3.2 will follow nothing but the convention of Ketu, which is the first pada. So any planet which is between 0 to 3.2 degrees will not only have its own strength, but will also denote some of the characteristics or personalities of Ketu itself, and this is very, very important. If you are able to see this thoroughly in your horoscope, you will also be able to understand where the energy of the planet is lying. Then the second pada lies between 3.2 degrees and 6.4 degrees, which means that if there is any planet which lies between 3.2 and 6.4 degrees in any of the sign, that planet is not only denoting its own energy, whatever degrees it is in, whether it's 3.2, 3.5, 3.6, 4 or 5 and so on till 6.4, but it is also denoting the strength of the second pada, the number 2, which is the Venus energy. So that planet which lies between 3.2 and 6.4 degrees in any sign will also show characteristics or personalities of the planet Venus, which means the planet will be able to give you tendencies of materialistic results in that house, whichever that house may be. If a planet is lying between 3.2 and 6.4 degrees in any house, that planet will also borrow energies of Venus, which means in that house, using the energy of that particular planet, you will also be able to derive materialistic pleasures, materialistic gains, sensual gains also, intimacy related results also for you. Then if a planet lies between 6.4 and 10 degrees in any sign, Now it is the third pada or the third pada's degrees between 6.4 and 10, which means between 6.4 and 10, the third pada, the third number, as we talked about at the start of the video, is the number of the sun. So the number of the sun being between 6.4 and 10 degrees, any planet, any sign it lies between 6.4 and 10 degrees will also denote or also show the personality of the sun. So what it means, and so on. Then from 10 to 13.2, then from 13.2 to 16.4, 16.4 to 20, and so on till we reach number 9, which is Mercury. But what does this mean? It means that if any planet lies between 0 to 3.2 degrees, let's say the first, any planet which lies, let's take the example of Mars lying at 2 degrees, for example, any sign in any house. Now Mars lying at 2 degrees in that house shows that between 0 to 3.2, as we said, is the first pada denoted by Ketu. So Mars will also show characteristics or borrow the personality of Ketu, which means Mars will also act like Ketu or will behave like Ketu. Now what is the Ketu energy? Ketu's energy is that of giving up something which has already been achieved earlier, something which has to be given first before asking. Unless you give, unless you're donating, unless you're charitable, you can't expect results back. So what is Mars expected to do in any house? If it has to get the best results, it has to act more like Ketu to be able to derive results from that house, rather than try to go hammer and tongs, try and gain from that particular house, like Mars, killer instinct from Mars, wanting to gain, wanting to rule, acquire at any cost, the killer instinct. Here the killer instinct has to be tempered by the instinct of also giving first, contributing first, then asking. Now if your Mars is between 0 degrees to 3.2 in any sign, in any house, and if you're not showing these characteristics, try as you might, whatever focus and attention you may be able to do or want to do, you will see that you will not be able to achieve the best results from that planet, even if it's in a Mahapurush yoga. For example, Mars lies at 2 degrees in Aries sign in the 10th house in a Ruchak Mahapurush yoga. Yet if you are not showing the tendency of contributing first, doing more for others, doing for the organization, doing for career, because Mars is in the 10th house, then you will see that you will not be able to achieve the maximum results from your career. So that's why many times our yogas don't give us the best results, because we are not following the energy of the borrowed energy of the planet, looking at the pada level energy, the nakshatra level energies. Why is the nakshatra level energies important? Because the nakshatra level energies are telling us at the genetic level, at the DNA level, where the energy lies. And that's why sign is divided into nakshatras, and nakshatras are divided into padas. Which pada a particular planet goes, that pada is seen in the Navamsa, and we know that the Navamsa is the finest denotation of your Lagna chart, of your demon chart, and that's why it's very, very important to show where the borrowed energy of a planet is coming. So now let's look at number 2. So if a planet is between 3.2 to 6.4 degrees, the second pada, that means it is borrowing the energy of Venus. Say for example, Saturn is between 3.2 and 6.4 degrees. Say it is at 5 degrees in Capricorn sign in the 7th house. So what are we saying? Saturn has highest directional strength in the 7th house. Now it's in Capricorn sign, so it is in a Sasha yoga, again a very strong Panch Mahapurush yoga. And if it's at 5 degrees, 5 degrees is between 3.2 and 6.4 degrees, which is the second pada level energies, which is the energy of Venus. So Saturn here will also derive or act like Venus, and that's why Saturn gets the maximum energy in the 7th house in the sign of Libra, because Venus also has the second number, or the number 2, or derives maximum or gives off maximum energy or denotes maximum energy to the planet lying between 3.2 and 6.4. So yeah, Saturn is at 5 degrees in Capricorn in a Sasha yoga in the 7th house. It is also showing personalities of Venus. So Saturn here shows that intimacy is important, materialistic results are important, but patience with Saturn is also has to be seen, rather than trying to rush into materialistic tendencies of Venus. So yes, slow and steady wins the race. So the more stable the union is, the more stable the marriage is, the more stable the relationship is, the good results will come to you over a period of time. Materialistic results will also come relationship will also be strong. Intimacy related results will also come. Now if a planet is between 6.4 and the 10 degrees, which means the third pada energies, as we said, the number 3 denote the energy of the sun, especially the third nakshatra also being the nakshatra of Kritika, which means if any planet is between 6.4 and 10 degrees, say for example Jupiter is between 6.4 and 10 degrees, so Jupiter lies at the 8th degree in any sign, in any house. Say Jupiter lies at 8 degrees in the sign of Cancer, but in the third house. So here what does it denote? Jupiter is exalted in the third house and say at 8 degrees, but 8 degrees is nothing but between 6.4 and 10 degrees, the third pada energies, Kritika nakshatra energies, or number 3 denoted by sun. So here in the third house, Jupiter says that you will get the best results of your efforts, not only acting wisely but also acting with the personality of the sun, but also with the responsibility, authority, taking leadership, taking control. So you have to have the wisdom to be able to take control. You have to have the wisdom to take responsibility and accountability. Then you get the best results. So friends, please do see this. This is very, very important. You will see that if you don't look at the energies at the number level, number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, depending on which specific degree your planet lies in which sign and house, you will not be able to derive the maximum energies or the results of the planet. So look at what degrees your planet lies. If the planet lies between 6.4 and 10 degrees, as we said, the number 3, sun's energies comes in between 10 and 13.2, moon's energies will come in, the number 4. Then between 13.2, 16.4, you will have the energy of Mars. Then between 16.4 and 20 degrees, you will have the energy of Rahu. Then between 20 and 23.2, you will have the energy of Jupiter. And then between 23.2 and 26.4, between those degrees will come the energy of Saturn. And then between 26.4 and 30 degrees will be the energy of Mercury, or the 9th number. So that's how you should be able to see how, depending on which degrees a planet is, in which sign and house it is placed, what energy it is borrowing from which planet, and you have to combine the denotation of the specific planet and the number at which it lies, the degree at which lies, which is the nakshatra pada, when you look at from the numbers perspective, and then relate it to that particular planet, and then see the combined results of the planet in which is lying at that degree and the number which constitute that specific planet. Then you will get the best results from that planet. Giving another example, say a planet is between 26.4 degrees and 30 degrees. Say it is at 28 degrees, and say here we have the energy of Rahu, which is at 28 degrees, lying in any sign. Say Rahu is lying in the sign of Aquarius, which it co-rules, and in the Lagna itself, and it is lying at the 28th degree. So the 26.4 to 10th to the 30th degree is the number 9, or the 9th pada. The number 9, as we have seen, belongs to the planet Mercury. So here Rahu will also borrow or show the personality of Mercury also, which means if Rahu is lying in Aquarius sign in the Lagna, then Rahu will also borrow or denote the personality of Mercury also. So Rahu is what? So Rahu is looking at self. Rahu is your karma for this life. Rahu is also your hunger, your greed, wanting to get the best results for self, which the Lagna denotes, for your stature, for your designation, for your respect, for your health. So, and in Aquarius, which means Rahu wants to acquire all this for being successful in society, for last societal cause, which Aquarius denotes. But with the analytical ability of Mercury, with the precision oriented energy of Mercury, with the communication skills of Mercury also. And if you are not able to see these results combined, if you are being over analytical, lackadaisical, you are not being somebody who is guided by data, information, knowledge, and you are being too creative in your endeavor rather than being analytical, then Rahu will not be able to give you the best of results, even in its own co-rule sign of Aquarius and even in the Lagna, without looking at what is the specific degree of Rahu. Here we are talking about the 28th degree, which constitutes the number 9, which constitutes Mercury. So friends, do see any planet which lies in any house, in any sign, what degree it lies, what number of the planet which it constitutes, depending on the order of the nakshatras or the order of the dashas which follow one after the other. Start with the Dasha of Ketu, with being the number 1, then you end with number 9 being the Dasha of Mercury. Related to that, then see whichever house it lies, are you behaving with the combined energy of the planet, which degree it lies in, and the borrowed energy and the personality of the other planet. If you are able to do that, then you will get fantastic results, you will get better results. This is my own research which I have seen in many horoscopes over almost last 20-25 years. Do see that and try, and do let me know in the comment section, do you really see that in your horoscope, in your life, when you are able to combine the results, or you are able to see them together, and if you have taken decisions accordingly, if you have made choices accordingly, you will be able to get best results, or you have got results so far. So please do write in the comment section, share your experiences with us, and do look at which specific degree your planet lies in which house and sign, combining it with the planet, then try to derive the maximum energy of the planet for your best benefits. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is the friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.